Paul Scholes defends Man United star whose blood will be boiling after defeat to Crystal Palace. Paul Scholes believes Rasmus Højlund's blood will be boiling with Manchester United's inability to create chances for him after drawing a blank again against Crystal Palace. United were thrashed 4-0 at Selhurst Park in another dismal showing from Erik ten Hag's side. While Casemiro saw 2 headers ruled out, the visitors struggled to create anything of real note, with Bruno Fernandes missing through injury. Højlund in particular had another quiet night in front of goal, having scored just 1 goal in his 9 appearances since returning from injury in March. United legend Scholes sympathised with the Denmark international following the defeat in southeast London, insisting he did not get a chance all game. United look leggy, they look like an old team, Scholes told Premier League Productions. I'm not quite sure where Mason Mount was playing. It's difficult to be critical of Mason Mount because he has just not played any football, but it comes down to coaching. You see, United couldn't, in open play, couldn't create chances. They've got a centre forward there, it makes your blood boil. For him, they are not even getting chances. Rasmus Højlund, I've watched him the last 7 or 8 games. I know he's scored 1 goal, he doesn't get a chance in the game. I asked Michael Owen before if you played in this team, would you get chances? He said no. I said he would because there's still quality there. Christian Eriksen has quality, Kobbie Mainoo we know has quality. Højlund has scored 14 goals in his first season at the club, 8 of those coming in the Premier League. United have 3 more games of their Premier League campaign remaining at home to Arsenal and Newcastle United before a trip to Brighton on the final day. For the 2nd season in a row, they meet Manchester City in the FA Cup final at Wembley on the 25th of May. Jamie Carragher tells Manchester United star to call it a day and move on after Crystal Palace defeat. Jamie Carragher claims Casemiro only has 3 games left at the top level and has urged the midfielder to leave Manchester United this summer. The 32-year-old was one of United's worst performers on Monday evening as Erik ten Hag's side were hammered 4-0 by Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. The Brazilian midfielder was forced to play at centre-back due to United's injury crisis and made an error for both of Michael Olise's goals for Palace. And Carragher believes Casemiro's time with playing at the elite level should now be over. I said at half-time he's got to bring Casemiro off, I know he's got kids on the bench, Carragher said in his post-match analysis for Sky Sports. But I think Casemiro, deadly serious, should know tonight as an experienced player that he should only have another 3 games left at the top level, the next 2 league games and the cup final, and then he should be thinking, I need to go to the MLS or Saudi. I'm deadly serious. His agent, the team of people around him, they need to tell him, this has to stop. We are watching one of the greats of the modern times, playing in the best midfields we have seen who have dominated Europe, him holding Toni Kroos and Luka Modric alongside him, could easily go up against that Barcelona midfield that we all love of Sergio, Busquets, Andres, Iniesta and Xavi. He's been an absolute great. I am nowhere near on what that man has achieved, winning Champions League, playing for Brazil and playing for Real Madrid. But I always remember something when I retired myself. There's a saying I always remember as a footballer, leave the football before the football leaves you. The football has left him at this top level. He has to call it a day at this level of football and move. When Carragher was reminded that Casemiro still has 2 years remaining on his £350,000 a week contract, the former Liverpool defender replied, he'd have made a right few quid and good luck to him. They pay him off and do some sort of deal. But that level of that player, he should not be putting himself through this. He is too good of a player to put in a performance like that and being laughed at by Crystal Palace. He's not playing Manchester City or Real Madrid, with all due to respect to Crystal Palace. A man of that level should not be going through what he's going through now, and he needs to call it a day. Paul Scholes tears into Manchester United and Erik ten Hag after Crystal Palace humbling. Manchester United sit 8th in the Premier League following their 4-0 loss at Crystal Palace. Paul Scholes pulled no punches with his assessment of Manchester United's 4-0 defeat at Crystal Palace, insisting there are several players who do not deserve to be at the club. United were well beaten at Selhurst Park on Monday evening as Erik ten Hag's near 2-year reign reached a new low in the capital. The Reds were a mess defensively and offered nothing in attack as Palace ran riot on home soil. This latest setback means United have now suffered 13 Premier League defeats in 2023-24, their most in a single season, and have conceded 81 goals in all competitions, the highest tally since 1976-77. Left in disbelief after this latest performance from Ten Hag's side, Scholes admitted it was difficult to watch what unfolded and that only one team had been coached how to play. A very upsetting and sad performance, he told Premier League Productions. Even though there are a lot of players out who would probably start in the team, 5 or 6 probably of the main ones. But it felt like one team had been coached and set up how to play, and one team that was so easy to play against that it's untrue. There are still some good players in that Man United team and playing out on that pitch. You think of the likes of Casemiro, he's tough to have a go at, what a player he has been over the years. But that was tough to watch, he was on his backside most of the time. People like Christian Eriksen as well, that physicality in the middle of the pitch has gone. I reckon that could have happened 4 or 5 times where Casemiro sits down and somebody skips past him. The lad's not a centre-half. It's tough to have a bit of a pop at him. He has done so much for the game. A fantastic footballer. It's difficult watching a few of these actually, because I do feel they are towards the end. They shouldn't be at a club of this stature really. Political discontent in the Bayern boardroom is never far away, but Ten Hag is a diplomat and his personality would probably suit a club like Bayern more than a manager like Tuchel, who can ruffle feathers. Ultimately, a lot of pieces would have to fall into place for Tuchel to be managing United and Ten Hag to be managing Bayern at the beginning of next season, but it will be interesting to see how the next few weeks and months play out on the managerial merry-go-round. Dortmund will do everything for Sancho deal with Man United. Manchester United are preparing to hold fresh discussions with Borussia Dortmund over a summer deal for Jadon Sancho. Borussia Dortmund have confirmed that they are eager to strike a fresh agreement with Manchester United which will see them keep Jadon Sancho. The winger initially joined the Bundesliga outfit on loan for the remainder of the season during the winter transfer window. Manchester United star Jadon Sancho could stay away from Old Trafford on a permanent basis as Borussia Dortmund sporting director Sebastian Kehl has confirmed that the Bundesliga giants will hold negotiations in an attempt to keep him on their books heading into next season. The Red Devils were keen to sanction the winger's departure when the transfer window reopened at the turn of the year, having been banned from first-team facilities and frozen out after publicly criticizing boss Erik Ten Hag following the decision to not include him in the matchday squad for the trip to Arsenal in September. Dortmund offered Sancho the chance to reignite his career, thanks to shaking hands on a £3.4 million loan fee and agreeing to cover part of his wage package, but the German heavyweights do not want his second spell at Signal Iduna Park to come to an end at the campaign's climax. Dortmund admit they are desperate to keep Sancho. Bundesliga outfit preparing to open fresh negotiations with Red Devils. Dortmund sporting director Kehl has admitted that Sancho is in their plans for next season, and it has led to the Champions League semi-finalists setting their sights on attempting to persuade Manchester United to allow him to remain in his current surroundings after a fruitful loan spell. The England international has found the back of the net 3 times and provided a further 2 assists for his teammates over the course of 17 outings since linking up with Edin Terzic's charges, having been starved of game time at Old Trafford, and he will be at the centre of internal discussions in the coming weeks. Via transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, Kehl told German media outlet Welt, "We will try everything to keep Jadon Sancho here. But Manchester United also see how well he is playing at the moment. Maybe they also want to sell him for profit or bring him back. We will see." It is understood that Sancho will refuse to head back to Manchester United if Ten Hag